He wore muddy boots and a worn-out flannel, standing quietly near the janitor's closet when the CEO pointed at him and dared him to fix a $6 million broken machine. Everyone laughed. After all, he was just a farmer's son. But when the boy stepped forward, what happened next made the entire room fall silent. No one had any idea who his father really was, or the secret this quiet teenager was about to reveal, one that would change everything forever. The air inside the Graves Systems manufacturing plant was thick with stress and stale coffee. Employees moved like ghosts across the factory floor, eyes glued to their tablets and monitors. At the center stood the company's pride and shame, a massive piece of advanced automation machinery designed to revolutionize industrial packaging. It had cost $6 million to build, and for the past 2 weeks, it had refused to function. Every time someone tried to start it, the lights flickered, the gears jammed, and the entire system shut down within seconds. No one could figure out why, not the software engineers, not the mechanics, not even the external experts flown in at the company's expense. Leonard Graves, CEO of Graves, had flown in from New York that morning on his private jet. His suit was tailored, his watch alone cost more than anyone else's monthly salary, and his confidence filled every corner of the room. He hated problems, but he loved attention. The machine's failure was a PR nightmare, and Leonard planned to turn the story around in his favor by solving it himself. He called for silence and stepped up to the machine with exaggerated calm. His voice echoed through the warehouse. "If no one in this entire building can fix it, maybe we should let someone from the cleaning crew give it a try." Nervous laughter filled the room. That was when he noticed someone standing quietly in the shadows, Noah Whitaker, 16 years old, beside a mop bucket near the janitor's closet. His jeans were dusty, boots caked with dried mud, and the sleeves of his plaid shirt were rolled up past his elbows. He was just waiting for his Uncle Roy, the night janitor, to finish his shift so they could ride home together in his pickup. Leonard narrowed his eyes and gestured toward him. "Hey, farm boy, want to take a shot at it? Maybe you'll get lucky." His voice dripped with sarcasm, but the cameras were rolling. The crowd chuckled. It was a performance. Surely the uneducated kid would fumble and give them all something to laugh about. But Noah didn't laugh. He looked up, calm and focused, and stepped forward. He passed rows of engineers and managers who parted like waves. Some snickered. Others watched in silence, unsure if they should stop him or let the joke play out. Leonard folded his arms, clearly amused, waiting for the boy to embarrass himself. Roy Whitaker stepped forward, his voice shaky. "Sir, Noah's just here to visit. He's not—" Leonard raised a hand. "Let the kid try. It's just a dead machine, right?" Every eye was fixed on the boy in the flannel shirt. Noah placed a hand on the steel panel and traced his fingers along the control interface. His touch was confident. He squinted at the diagnostic screen, then at the circuit grid beneath the glass. No one breathed. He crouched beside the base, studying a junction of tangled wires and sensors. "This was installed backward," he muttered. A few engineers leaned in, frowning. Noah pulled a small screwdriver from his backpack. An executive began to object, but Leonard waved him off. The cameras were still rolling. This was turning into unexpectedly good content. With steady hands, Noah opened the base plate and exposed the machine's pulse regulator. The wires were a mess. Some looped improperly. One was pinched between two metal brackets. "Whoever installed this misread the polarity markers," he said softly. "That's why it resets every time it tries to cycle." He unclipped 2 wires, reversed their ports, adjusted the sensor alignment, and pressed the reset panel. For a moment, nothing happened. Then a low hum filled the room. The conveyor belt lit up, gears turned smoothly, lights flashed green. The machine roared to life. Gasps echoed across the room. Phones that had been recording shook in stunned hands. Leonard's jaw clenched. He forced a smile as the machine completed a full test cycle without a hitch. "Beginner's luck," he said too loudly. But Clara Donnelly, one of the senior Engineers shook her head. That wasn't luck. That was expertise. She turned to Noah. How did you know that? Noah brushed dust from his jeans. I helped my dad build something like this, back on our farm. Leonard's brow furrowed. And who exactly is your father? Noah looked him in the eye. His name is Cole Whitaker. The room fell deathly, silent. The name hit like a thunderclap. Leonard's smirk vanished. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Heads turned toward the back, where a tall, rugged man walked in. Cole Whitaker, the legendary engineer whose work had shaped some of the most advanced machinery in the country. His reputation was unmatched, his consulting worth millions. He had disappeared from the industry years ago. Most thought he'd retired. No one imagined he'd been quietly running a farm and raising a son. Noah's face stayed calm, but his heart pounded. This moment had been years in the making. His father wasn't just a farmer. He was a brilliant engineer who had left the industry after an accident to care for their land. Noah had learned every trick, every technique to keep that farm running. Leonard stepped forward, voice steady but thin with tension. Mr. Whitaker, we didn't realize your son was here. This is quite the surprise. Everyone watched. This was no longer a joke. It was a shift in power. Cole smiled slightly. Noah is exactly where he belongs. He's inherited more than just my name. He's inherited the passion and the skill. The room went still. Even the machine seemed to hum more quietly in respect. An assistant whispered in Leonard's ear. He nodded but couldn't hide the sweat on his brow. This wasn't just a mechanical fix. It was a story that could reshape the company. Noah turned to the engineers. I've been watching your work. This machine was designed to be powerful, but the installation was careless. It takes knowledge, respect, and attention to detail to make technology work, not just software commands. His words landed like hammer blows. Clara approached him with a smile. You could teach all of us a thing or two. Leonard looked around, realizing he was losing control. What had started as a mocking challenge had turned into a lesson in humility. Mr. Whitaker, he said, if you're willing, we'd like you and Noah to join our team permanently. We need people like you. Cole glanced at Noah, then nodded. Noah's eyes lit up with something new. Purpose. The janitor's son was no longer invisible. He took a deep breath, stepping into his future, not just for himself, but for every hard-working person who had ever been overlooked because of their background. Leonard's cold stare lingered, but it no longer held power. The narrative had shifted. And over the next few weeks, the transformation became impossible to ignore. Noah and Cole worked side by side with the top engineers. Every day, Noah uncovered design flaws and proposed solutions born from real-world experience and sharp intuition. He didn't just fix the machines. He reinvented them. Smarter, more efficient, more reliable. The factory buzzed with a new kind of energy. Hope replaced cynicism. Innovation replaced ego. Even Leonard, watching from a distance, found himself captivated by Noah's relentless drive. Clara became his strongest advocate, defending him in meetings and making sure the board knew just how valuable he was. Slowly, and then all at once, everyone began to understand. This wasn't just the story of a machine being fixed. It was the story of a young man stepping into his legacy and reshaping the future. The old walls of prejudice began to crumble, replaced by respect and collaboration. Word about Noah's talent spread beyond the factory walls. Industry leaders, journalists, and investors began to pay attention. The company's stock started climbing, fueled by anticipation of revolutionary technology. But for Noah, success was never about money or fame. It was about proving that no one should be judged by their background. Talent and determination could come from anywhere. Then came the day. Leonard Graves was asked to step down. His resistance to change and dismissal of Noah's abilities had made his position untenable. The board recognized the need for fresh leadership, someone who could bridge tradition and innovation. Cole was offered a consultant role, while Noah was invited to lead the new innovation team. The janitor's son had become a key player in shaping the company's future. At a celebratory event, Noah looked out at the crowd, feeling a sense of accomplishment and responsibility. He remembered the long nights on the farm, the challenges he faced, and the doubts he had to silence. This wasn't just a personal victory, it was a win for every person who had ever been underestimated. His father, Cole, approached him, pride shining in his eyes. "You have made more than machines work, son. You've made people believe in themselves." Noah smiled, knowing this was only the beginning. The real challenge would be sustaining this change and inspiring others to break through their own barriers. Noah's story became a beacon of hope, proving that courage, knowledge, and heart could rewrite destiny. The factory was no longer just a place of work. It had become a symbol of transformation and possibility. The CEO's challenge had unleashed a force that no one could ignore. The janitor's son had not only fixed an impossible engine, he had fixed the future. Noah stood on the factory floor, the same place where his journey began, under skeptical eyes and heavy doubt. Now the hum of machines was different, brighter, stronger, alive with purpose. He was no longer just a janitor's son or a farmer's boy trying to repair what others gave up on. He had become a leader, an innovator who shattered glass ceilings with integrity and brilliance. The years had tested him in ways he never imagined. Whispers of doubt still echoed in some corners, but they were drowned out by the undeniable results of his work. He had transformed not only machines, but the entire company culture. Where once there had been division and prejudice, now there was unity and respect. Noah's journey was no longer about proving himself. It had become about inspiring others to believe in their own potential, regardless of where they came from. One chilly autumn morning, Noah received a call from Leonard Graves. The same man who once dismissed him now spoke with a tone of respect, almost admiration. Leonard acknowledged the changes Noah had made and invited him to lead a new initiative, focused on sustainable technology, something that could revolutionize the industry once more. It was a full-circle moment, a chance to build something that would outlast them all. As Noah accepted, he thought of his father, who had worked tirelessly on the farm, teaching him the value of hard work and humility. Those early lessons were his true foundation, the roots from which his success had grown. Noah realized his greatest strength wasn't just knowledge, it was resilience and heart. He carried the hopes of many who had been overlooked, a beacon for those still fighting to be seen. At a company-wide meeting, Noah shared his vision. His voice was steady, filled with passion. He spoke of innovation grounded in community, of technology that served people, and the power of believing in one's own worth. The room was silent, hanging on every word. It wasn't just a speech, it was a call to action. A movement was born. Outside the factory, the world noticed. Stories of Noah's rise inspired others to chase their dreams, no matter the obstacles. Media outlets featured his journey not as a story of luck, but as a testament to perseverance and character. Noah became a symbol of hope, a reminder that the greatest changes come from the most unexpected places. The CEO's dare to a farmer's son had sparked something far greater than fixed machines. It had sparked a revolution of mindset, proof that greatness isn't inherited, it's earned. Noah's legacy wasn't just in the engines he rebuilt, but in the lives he transformed. As the sun set over the factory, he stood tall, ready for the future. The impossible was no longer a barrier, it was a challenge waiting to be met. With every breath, he carried the promise of change, the strength of his past, and the unshakable belief that anyone, from anywhere, could rewrite their story. The journey was far from over. It was just beginning, and Noah was ready to lead it.